we don't get a long rest, we're not gonna survive. Okay, I'm gonna go find a soda because that's what I need for my heart rate. More caffeine.
Yeah.
If it had been Drow that the dragon was flying me to, maybe. But no, not the Elliptids, sorry.
In addition to a soda, I also fried an egg.
Grats.
Mm-hmm. I'm an adult. I know how to cook.
I just ordered a sandwich. I'm busy. Someone else can make a sandwich.
Okay. So explain the bonus round to me in this game show, because you never got that far.
I'm looking at the bonus round of this game show, and it seems pretty simple.
Like,
You just have to answer, like, what, 10 questions. Like, he says an incorrect word, and you have to actually give the correct word in the sentence.
Yeah. So
why is Dracula there?
because it's the gauntlet of villains.
The gauntlet of villains.
Yeah,
Yes.
All right.
they were really awful.
And yeah, you get asked a question. If you correct the blooper, you've beaten the villain and you advance.
What happens if the
Very
villain
simple.
wins?
Oh, you stay
You
there
get
until
another
you get it
question.
right.
Oh, you just keep fighting the same villain?
You have 60 seconds to get through the gauntlet. Plus, you get an extra second for every $100 you get in the main game. Like I said, it's a very simple game show to understand.
It's not what you were saying. That's the opposite of what you were saying.
Was it? Oh,
Whose fault is it?
McDohl.
Dracula's.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, Dracula. Right. Al Capone is also there for some reason.
they actually have names too.
Who, Dracula and Al Capone?
No, the villains and the gauntlet of villains.
We're still talking about. Phew.
Oh my god.
I didn't bring it up this time.
I
Can't
know.
pin this one on me.
Yes, we absolutely can. What do you mean we can't pin this on you?
Can't pin this one on me.
Who else are we gonna pin it on?
Treble was very curious about how the bonus round worked.
Why?
And I'm obliging him by answering.
Why? Because he explained the entire game show to us
Mm-hmm.
and then skipped over the bonus round. And
Yeah.
then right before we started, he's like, oh yeah, there's a bonus round. And it's been sitting in the back of my brain.
Mm-hmm. And this is why we're pinning it on McDohl. This is why. See, you plant a seed, and then it's in there, and it festers, and then it cries out to be watered, and you're like, I have this game show shaped watering can here.
Game show shaped watering can.
It's shaped like a game show.
It's strangely shaped like Bob Barker, I guess. I don't know.
The
Bob
game
Barker's like the only like Alex Trebek and Bob Barker are like the only two like game show like personalities I can name.
How about Wink Martindale?
Who's the guy that hosts Family Feud now?
Oh, now? I don't know, fucking clue.
It's
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
Yeah,
Steve Harvey.
my wife watches that show all the time, and he's like a dick.
Oh, Family Feud is unwatchable now. Oh, it's so bad.
Well, I mean, like, all of them
Now?
are dicks. I think
I've never seen an episode of that show that wasn't unwatchable.
Richard Dawson was, like, both a dick and also, like, sexually harassing any
And-
woman he got
and-
reaching distance.
Charming as hell.
I mean, classic Family Feud was always stuff like name something round attached to your car. Family Feud now is like name a cutesy nickname your husband has for your breasts, and it's like
Yeah, ever since Steve Harvey,
what?
like there was a couple of early moments when Steve Harvey, because when he took over, where it was normal Family Feud, and then like there was a couple of suggestive answers, and then like they realized
The
that
whole
people
show
really
is that now.
yeah, people realized that like he has pretty good reactions to the "oh, y'all need Jesus, you're going to hell" kind of situations. and
Name a
then,
body
like,
part you'll skip washing if you run out of soap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
It's like, no, give me, please go back to classic questions. Please go back to like surveys and watching people be dumb. Like, name a yellow fruit. Orange. Yeah, perfect. I want
Also,
more of that.
it's Celebrity Family Feud, but like real celebrities don't want to go on Family Feud, so it's all like C-list at best. Like they just had Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes on there. Like holy shit, are those guys like nobody's seen them in 40 years?
They just had a movie.
I feel the need to point out that at the end of Few's run, it actually became Celebrity Few.
Oh god.
So they had celebrities on.
The celebrity should be in scare quotes. Do we have everybody back?
Air
Are
quotes.
we? Because they're not. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they're not celebrities.
Betty White is a celebrity. I will not be accepting Betty White
She
slander.
has not been on Steve Harvey's Celebrity Feud, as far as I know.
I think you're right about that.
Betty White has too much class.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I think she could. She
was
would tell
on-
you what part of her body she doesn't wash when he runs out of soap.
She was on Dawson's Family Feud, though. And I think she was on Ray Combs' version, too.
She does an SNL skit that's amazing where she's like talking about grandma's muffins, but it's like really suggestive and it goes on forever and it's hilarious.
I hear that and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I absolutely could see Betty White doing something like that.
Have you ever tasted grandma's muffins? Like, Who are we still? I don't think we're waiting on anybody. We can get back to work here. Or we
Back
can keep
to
talking about
work.
Betty White's muffins for.
It's probably better than dealing with this dragon.
So yeah, the dragon has iced over both entrances into this cavern.
So this overhang is this dotted line on the ceiling, or is this a cliff?
It's on the ceiling.
Okay.
So the actual cave goes up maybe 30 or 40 feet, but underneath the overhang, you've only got about between 15 and 20 feet of clearance. And then there's this vertical shaft that goes up into the overhang.
So does anybody feel qualified to determine if that sonic energy we feeling is malicious or not?
Couldn't tell you.
What does your water
Ow.
clock say?
Right.
Well, the reason I was like, I feel like if we're up in the ceiling, right, which this could be a bad idea, but we'd have one entrance to defend and maybe we could get some rest.
Is there? So what is this hole in the middle of the room exactly?
A hole in the ceiling.
In the ceiling. Okay. And we haven't flown up there and saw how high it goes.
Not yet.
Nobody's gone into it yet.
I'll go.
I'm assuming there's nothing off in this direction.
Just the back wall of the cave.
Okay.
I'll go up there. Nobody stand under the hole in case I like start frothing at the mouth and fall.
Okay. I
Right.
need to save this map.
So I think I've got a rope trick and a cat now. For what it's worth, we need to try and do something, but I think figuring out what's going on with this hole first, and then we'll go with scrolls. I have one cat nap. I might have used the rope trick actually. I'm pretty much tapped on slots. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just have a cat nap.
Did that not save?
So, Lucius,
There we go.
way to piss off a dragon. Good job.
Oh,
I really want to know what you would have done in my state.
Probably die.
this one? No. Sorry, this is the wrong map.
No, that was a non-ironic good job. By the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way your tone of voice suggested that you were really angry with me.
No,
And it's like,
not,
well, sorry for not dying.
no, not angry. Impressed. non-ironic. Just I have resting fighter face. I'm sorry.
So you guys have revealed like some of these farms here.
I know at one point our plan was to incite a goblin slave revolt. I don't think that's happening now.
This all started with 2 rocks you guys were going to try to sneak by.
Yeah.
Well, it went so well the first time, right? And you know,
And then
we
what
knew
happened?
We figured we could go 2 for 2.
We never get to go 2 for 2, Brick Road. That's going on RPG horror stories.
I mean, it's the dice did that. I didn't do that. You guys rolled stealth checks. You had blips. You could have used them.
Next party, all rogues.
All right, so you guys are in the cave here. Yeah, I'm gonna shrink you down. These are 10-foot. Honey, I shrunk the PCs. So, Gus, you went up the hole.
Yes, I'm up the hole. Nobody's underneath the hole for safety reasons.
So you're flying using your magic boots,
Yes.
and you fly up. You're not sure how far exactly. When you look back down, glancing back down this narrow shaft, you have to actually be careful that your shoulders aren't scraping up against the sides of it. But when you glance back down, you got what, 60 feet of dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay. You reach a point where you can no longer see underneath you. However, you also reach the top of the hole and come out into this room, which has the shape of this overhang, but continues forward a bit and then exits out a web-filled passage. This room is, at one point, has been lavishly decorated, but more recently has been desecrated. You see panelings on the walls that once held frescoes that have been like tile frescoes. Some of the shapes you can recognize as drow iconography here and there, but you can't put the whole of it together because they've all been smashed. So all over the floor along the walls are bits and pieces of stone and tile that once made up lavish decorations along the wall that have all been destroyed. Looking up into the ceiling, you see a dome shape held together with some kind of metal banding, and then in between them was some sort of glass structure. All of that has also been shattered. Broken glass covers the floor. Let me actually draw in the hole so you know about where it is. Right there is about right. Right next to the hole, literally here, you notice an executioner's block. You see on the far side of it, where there are spots in the floor, one hole drilled down, and then next to it, you see another shackle there. So it looks like one of the shackles has been removed. Somewhere where you could shackle down a prisoner, push them forward so their head would lay on this block, and when you removed the head, it would tumble down this hole. Directly behind there, you see, as though frozen in time, the figure of a female drow. And you can't see color or anything, but she's rearing back with both arms over her head as though holding something, but there's nothing there. In fact, there's just this space in her grip that's just empty. And she looks perfectly normal except for the fact that she's not moving. She's definitely not made out of stone, and that's all you get.
Okay. Gus is going to light a torch so I can see color.
And when you do, the drow stands before you, and there is a dark purple tinge to her clothing, to her skin, to her eyes, to her hands, her boots, and a cloak that's billowing out behind her as though she's lunging forward. It looks like she's mid-strike, although you can't tell with what weapon because it's been removed.
All right. Gus is going to like reach down into put his head down in the hole and yell and see if they hear me.
Yeah, you guys can hear him above you.
There's a chamber up here There appears to be a drow who is frozen, kind of. But there's
Rope, we'll see.
I don't have 60 feet of rope. That's Alex's bag, literally.
Yeah, Alex will fly up, hand Gus a rope out of his bag.
Yeah,
And I'd like to.
Alex, as you enter the room, it becomes very obvious that this creature is the source of the psionic resonance you are feeling below.
Okay. Could I do a Arcana check to see if there's any active magical effects on the creature?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check. I mean, there's clearly magical effects in play here.
Well, magic
Obviously.
versus psionics, right? Like I wouldn't. If there's something purely psionic, I don't know that I'd get anything with an Arcana check. That's a 19.
A 19? Physically, there's nothing off-putting about this creature. Her clothes feel like clothes. Her armor feels like metal. Her flesh feels like flesh. You can still feel the warmth of her body just standing next to her. It's as though she's just been frozen in time. And it's some kind of very powerful magic locking her in place here.
I'll let the rope down and brace. If I can't find anywhere to tie it off, I'll brace myself and
Yeah,
use myself as the anchor.
You're strong enough. They can
Yeah.
climb up.
Yeah, Connor will climb up the rope.
So wait, and there were no other like ways out of this room here, right?
There's a tunnel back here blocked off with webs.
Okay.
And she looks alive, healthy.
Yeah, in fact,
Just
when
that
you stand next to her, you
frozen.
can feel her body heat.
I do have a single negate psionic scroll. Do I know? Can I tell if this is magical or psionic?
Feels magical to you.
Okay. I don't have any. I don't think I have any dispels on me. Let me see if I made a scroll.
I don't think I have any.
I have
myself.
one scroll of dispel.
Oh,
I can jump into our mind.
Yeah, that
That-
might be worth a shot.
I don't know, man. I played a lot of Psychonauts 2 this week.
Yeah, but you designed this dungeon a month ago.
There's weird stuff in there.
there's teeth everywhere.
All right, yeah, let's detect thoughts. This drow lady.
And the surface level thoughts are pained duty. She's doing something that she finds incredibly distasteful and regrettable, but she's bound by duty to carry it out. Those are the surface thoughts. Would you like to go deeper than that?
Yes, please.
I've got a 20 to push you out on the saving throw.
Wow, yeah, that pushes me out.
So yeah, you get some surface thoughts, and then whatever's there, it's still alive. The mind is still active in some capacity.
And Connor relays that. Very much alive. She feels duty bound by something. Connor gets all up in her face.
Lucius gestures to the position she's in, then to the executioner's block, and says, "Somebody that she didn't want to kill, she's having to kill."
Couldn't go deeper than that. She pushed me out.
Hmm. Well, so short-term plan. Before we borrow any more trouble, do
Yeah.
we want to try and take a rest in here? Because
No,
we
I
get-
think my vote's for trying to make our way through the webs, at least find out where it leads. If I'm a little bit easier at slipping through than you guys, I can go ahead a bit.
Up this way.
Yeah. I do have a scroll of catnap. If Lucius, if you have anything big you want, can get back in 10 minutes versus an hour.
Hang on,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I can give 3 people actually. I think is how the spell works. A 10-minute rest. Double check.
Okay, so what's
Yeah,
next?
3 willing creatures.
I mean, do we want to at least try and take a short rest in here before we move on?
Well, that's what the catnap would do. Would be a 10-minute short rest.
Yeah.
Alex wants to head down that hallway and at least see where it leads before even trying that.
I had that. I'm trying to find that that level 20 thing that I got, and it's. I can remember putting it on my character sheet. I just can't.
Oh yeah, you can get all your stuff
Find it
back
now.
with just 1 minute.
So are we catnapping?
The Warlock. I want to explore. I want to move down the spider tunnel at least some distance before trying that.
And your passive
I
perception
will-
was what?
14.
So Alex,
Mhm.
it's a very narrow tunnel, and it's very sharp incline downwards. At one point, you see these might have been stairs coming up this slope. But it looks like a great amount of damage was done to this tunnel. So it's very slow going as you move down. And as you get to the base of the stairs down here, you start hearing loud chittering noises in front of you as the cave opens up a little more and again is crisscrossed with large webs.
Yeah, 1 minute I can regain my spell slots, which I would need to because I spent all of them trying to get the hell out of there. I just need a minute.
I mean, if we want to use catnap, you wouldn't have to because I don't need them. I don't have anything to get back. You could save that for later. Sounds
Fair
like
enough.
there's some creatures down there. Didn't hear anything that sounded like intelligent creatures. So
Insectoid chittering.
yep. So yeah, if you guys want, I'll take out my scroll and you can all get a short rest.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So using the
Better
scroll
than
of
nothing.
catnap and take a short rest, you can go ahead and take the benefits of that rest. Everybody who's entitled to it.
So everybody but Alex.
Minutes.
Spend some hit dice.
Yeah.
Yes, that.
Oh, yeah, my hit. I'm always surprised by this every time I look it up, but my hit dice are D10s.
Yeah, you're fighter. Fighter subclass. Fighting man with certain minimum ability score requirements.
Wow, that was some good rolling too.
Almost makes up for the breath weapon I fed you.
No, I think the breath weapon would still down me, but it would be closer.
So you guys take minutes. Take a few minutes, and the catnap
Yeah,
wears
Alex
off.
reads a scroll, everybody falls into a canatomic slumber as he stands guard.
Okay.
To get anything else back in a short rest.
All right.
I mean, my vote's that the insect chattering is probably better than mind flayers and dragons.
Well, do we? Okay. I guess we're just gonna leave her here.
I think we should come back. I do think we should maybe dispel her.
Yeah, that's the other option. Is I could try this dispel scroll, but I am out of flash of geniuses, so there's no guarantee this is going to work. Actually, that's a good question. Does my cantrip enhance spellcasting check? This is an ability check. Spell magic.
Isn't an ability check anything that uses an ability score?
For each an ability check, yeah, no, I could put a cigarette on it.
Yes. Dispel magic. You could.
Well, I mean, okay, if we're gonna do that, my vote is Gus. You stand next to her with your hammer out. I'll take out my gun. Everybody else just surround her with weapons ready because we don't know what this is gonna do, and this is my only scroll, but yeah, sure, let's try it.
All right. Make that
Do I
ability
need
check.
to roll, or is it below third level?
Oh, you need to roll.
Yep. So, cigarette. this is raw ability check, so just +5, right? Yes. $17.
17?
Yep.
The purple tinge wears away. And the first thing that happens is she comes down with her arms. But she's thrown off balance as though she's overcorrecting for some amount of weight. And she cracks her knuckles against the block in front of her. She spins around and sees that she's being surrounded. And she reaches down to her belt loop and grasps for nothing. You see where there's a knife sheath on her waist, on either leg, that are both empty. And she's just spinning around, alert and completely surprised.
Alex will
As
say
you
in
do.
Undercommon, "What's your name?"
She turns to face Alex. You have a weapon trained on her?
Yeah.
Okay. And she stands up proudly to her full height. She tells you that she is Dosamere Freth, Grand Executioner for House Freth.
What's the name of the house? What was the house name we were given for this?
For what?
For the drow and the
Freth.
Freth. Okay.
Mhm. She demands to know who you are and why you've invaded their territory.
God. Wish I could demand to know that from somebody.
And she says you may cut her down here through whatever vile treachery you've unearthed, but her house still stands behind her, now more than ever.
Are you aware that you were magically time stopped for some amount of time?
She pauses for a moment. Make an insight check.
Yep.
She tells you that that's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean,
That's an insight of 11.
11? Yeah,
Yep.
she tells you that's absolutely ridiculous. She's utterly defiant. She does not believe that for a moment.
okay.
When we found you in the state you were in, you looked as though you were carrying out the duties of your trade. Well, Lucius has comprehend languages up, so he can understand what she's saying, but he starts talking in common, babbling like it's the most natural thing.
She kneels
I'm
on the
sure
ground,
that's it.
on her knees, and with her arms at her side, and she bends her head forward slightly. She reaches up and pulls her hair back from behind her cloak to bare her neck. She tells you that she will take her death proudly, but she will not deign to speak your vile tongue.
Ask her, Alex, if she's with the. If she's with the mind flayers and the Iriador.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask her. So, and is your part of that? Are you part of the house that's working with the mind flayers and the necromancer king from the surface?
She says she's tired of answering questions. She will not betray her people. If you are to have her killed, let's be done with it. You've already disarmed her and disoriented her. She has no way to fight you.
We can't speak to her.
I mean, Alex will translate if you say something.
He says, "When we found you, you were disarmed. Your weapons taken."
She doesn't blame you. That's what she would do if
Wasn't
the
us
tables
that
were turned.
wasn't us that disarmed you.
And she doesn't believe you. Make an insight check.
Is she, Alex, ask her if she was aware a few moments ago of someone prodding inside her brain.
Alex will ask that.
What was that insight?
7.
A 7? Yeah, utterly defiant.
Yeah.
Do we look like we have your weapons, lady?
Connor's put his bow down at this point.
Yeah.
So Connor's lowering his weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucius is as well.
Yeah, Alex, ask her if she was aware of someone inside of her head a few moments ago.
I mean, Alex will ask that. Shoulder is gun. I'm not really very confident that I'm going to get a lot of information out of her at this point. But
Like I'm.
She tells you that she's a soldier, and she has neither the head nor the stomach for these ridiculous intrigues. She does not want to play your games, and she's not going to give you answers to your questions. You can kill her here, but let it not be said that she betrayed the masters.
Who are the masters then?
They betrayed her, as far as we can tell.
Gus, what else are you armed with besides your hammer?
Literally just the hammer and my shield. I have a longbow on my back, but I don't have any arrows.
Nobody has. Nobody has like a dagger or anything. Short
Nope.
sword.
Alex
Lucius
definitely has
does.
a dagger on
Alex,
his belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean-
Lucius.
too far away
I mean-
and facing the wrong direction.
Connor still has his rapier by his side.
If we were
She
to
don't
take
think-
your head, then, lady, we don't have the tools with which to do it.
Ask her what's the ask her about the iconic the frescoes and things on the wall, and like what did all the damage in here.
Gus, you can't be surprised, right?
I mean, I can be surprised.
You can be. Somebody here
That's-
cannot be surprised in combat.
That was Steely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, roll initiative.
Now you're thinking of Birdie.
Maybe I am thinking of Birdie. Maybe that was it. Birdie was broken. Let's be honest.
He was a little cracked.
All right, so Lucius, you're surprised. And with surprising grace, she leaps to her feet and dives backwards through the hole and falls down it. And you hear her land on the ground underneath. She lands on her feet, no worse for wear. Unless any of you are going to attack down the hole, we can immediately come off initiative.
No, Alex will take 3 shots down the hole if she doesn't get out of there before she can get a beat on her.
So you're going to fight her down the hole?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I assume by the time I get over there, she's already gone.
Yeah, by the time you get over to the hole, because you can only see the point directly underneath
Right.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
You can hear her down
Not
there.
going anywhere down there.
She runs. You can hear her run to one side of the room, and then the other. And she starts cursing and calling something out in the drow tongue, and then back up at you in Undercommon. Who is it you work for? Are there no depths to your treachery?
Your own dragon friend put those walls up.
I am friends with no dragon, and neither is my house.
Someone forgot
Well,
to tell
sure.
you then.
They sure weren't shooting them.
She calls back up and asks, "Where are the skulls?"
Are there any skulls in this room?
No, there were no skulls in the room or the room you guys climbed up from.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Why don't you come back up here and we can talk this out like civilized people?
Is there any chance I would know what the drow would consider the current year?
No, not likely.
Okay. I think so.
You wouldn't even know if they have a timekeeping system. They probably don't have a timekeeping system based on years. They don't have seasons or days or nights.
Yeah.
She calls back up, and you can hear some exasperation creeping into her voice. So what has become of my sister?
Again, I'm pretty sure you were stopped in time for some amount of, I don't know, days, weeks, months, years.
What's become of the masters, the mind flayers?
A couple of them are dead. We're working on the rest.
So you have come here to kill them, to bring war to us. You are invaders.
We came here
No,
to kill. Yeah,
We're trying to stop a usurper,
for the name.
a rogue king of our lands.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, the mind flayers are Underdark business.
And at this point, she does come back underneath the hole. Alex, are you going to shoot her?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
Gustavus, throw a rope down for her.
Yeah,
Well, there's already a rope dangling. You guys didn't pull the rope back up when you came up.
I was bracing the rope.
Oh, that's right. You were holding it.
Yeah.
You're hoisting them up.
So I'll start hoisting her up.
Oh, she doesn't take her end of the rope. She does not trust you at all. She's completely
there's-
confused and disoriented, and you guys have spoken no sense whatsoever to her.
Do you wish a hostage to show our good faith?
You ask
Would it
her if she wants a hostage as a show of good faith.
What would it make her feel
Yeah.
better if we gave her a weapon?
Can I just point out that both of those ideas are bad, guys?
Listen, one of us is going to have to start. One of us is going to have to make a show of good faith in order for us to get anything done here. We're stuck between a dragon and a hard place.
Was my sister not executed?
I know not. No, I mean I can't answer that question.
Well, I mean, you and Alex can translate between
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, Alex is translating.
I know not.
She understands common. She just refuses to speak it.
Oh well, in that case,
If she understands my words, then that's fine. I can understand hers.
The evidence presented against her was overwhelming. I thought perhaps the newcomer had fabricated it.
What was her crime?
She calls up. This is treason.
what newcomer?
The wizard from the Softlands. The one who
Sounds
came
like
with the
her.
mind flayers.
Area duel.
Yep.
Area duel.
Yep, sounds like our boy.
So you're his men.
No,
Absolutely not.
I don't understand.
We're here to kill him.
I've not been disloyal. I won't stand against him. No one can say that I would.
well, how about we tell you our story, and then you listen, and then it might give you some context for how long you've been up here. Because I think she's been down here. Like, when did Ariadul disappear? What?
It was 12, 13 years ago.
12 or 13
13, yeah.
years. So I think you've been up here for like a decade or more.
And now you guys are going in circles with her because she repeatedly refuses to hear anything against her former masters. And it's kind of confusing because you're getting almost conflicting information from her. One moment she's talking about her sister with maybe a tinge of concern. The next moment she's insisting that her sister was a traitor. The next moment she's insisting that she's loyal to the newcomer and the masters.
Does she sound like she's been psychically whammied?
It's possible.
Anybody else?
Lucius, I'm not a good enough liar, but maybe you could convince her that her sister's still alive.
'Cause she sounds
understands you.
incredibly. Yeah, she sounds confused.
Or she's scared.
Can't come up with the words that would probably to convince her of that, and it's probably not likely to because, well, I mean, maybe. I mean, look at it this way: she was in the middle of swinging the axe, presumably above her sister's head, and there's no body. No, no head down below, no skull down below by this point, if the timeline works correctly.
And Alex snaps his finger, and she gets stopped in mid-swing. Like, she was literally just about to do it, so... Whatever stopped her must have saved her sister, or done something. I mean, who knows, but...
Mm-hmm.
And Alex is talking quietly, so hopefully she can't overhear from the bottom of the hole.
If you guys are speaking at a conversational level, then no, she can't hear you. You'd have to call down to her. So
What
what's
was
that?
your sister's name?
She tells you that her sister was the Lady Ezamire, High Priestess of Sensine. And she says it with a disgusted tone in her voice, as though this is information that she thinks you already knew.
No, we just recently arrived to these lands.
But she was the high priest of the like. We were told that the temple of Sinsine was destroyed, right? It was basically destroyed and what is the word here?
Not destroyed, conquered, overtaken.
Right. It was, but like I got the sense that whoever told us that considered it
Desecrated.
desecrated. That's the word. Thank you.
Did you tell that to her?
I mean, the one that was conquered. And yeah, I guess I'll just tell her like we were told, because it was the Deep Gnomes who told us that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Did they give us a time frame for when that was?
Years ago.
Yeah.
So are you voicing that down to her now through Alex?
Yeah.
And she confirms the timeline. She calls back up that her sister was a great hero, that at the time false believers had taken hold in this ancient temple, and her sister and the rest of their family rooted them out, threw them back into the holes from which they came, and brought the temple back to its former glory.
Well, then I'll tell her, like, according to what we were told, that happened X number of years ago. How does that match up with what you remember?
It matches up about 12 years ago or so.
Well, I know, but like, how long has she been?
Yeah, she says that it's about 12 years ago.
Okay.
The
You haven't
timeline's
been here
match up.
long.
So yeah, she can't have been here long then.
Yeah, she tells
Sure.
you that anything that you've heard from gnomes you can discard as blasphemy and untruths. Words from small mouths and small minds.
Alex nods.
Very least. She... I can't words right now. I'm sorry. Do you want
Whatever magic stopped you and took your equipment probably also saved your sister, so she's probably out there somewhere.
And she calls up.
Maybe someone else was aware of the treachery of this newcomer and decided to do something about it.
She calls up and asks who that could be. In a very defiant question, as though she's calling your bluff.
I mean, could your sister have done it? She was a priestess of Sinsine, right? A great hero.
She doesn't answer right away, but after a few moments, she says that her sister was found to be a traitor. The evidence against her was impenetrable.
What was the evidence against her? You keep saying that.
She tells you that it was found inside of her own mind. The plot was laid bare for all to see by the newcomers' mind flayers.
The mind flayers that can put things in people's minds? Yeah, okay, that sounds incredibly trustworthy. Good job.
She's nonetheless, I did my duty. I agreed to it.
Gus, Undercommon doesn't really have sarcasm, so I had to translate a little differently.
Do you want us to let you back up here so you can go about your business somewhere else? There's no telling how long those walls are going to be there.
Yeah.
She tells you that she has no weapons to fight you, but she will not die a coward's death.
I mean, I had no intention of killing you. I don't know what it is about these crazy drow women who just, I try to let them live and they just freaking insist on being killed.
But no, she still has not taken the rope. What are Connor and Lucius doing back there?
Connor has his arms crossed. A little. He's not saying anything, but he is very visibly just frustrated by this whole situation.
Okay.
We're gonna put drow on the list of do not parlay.
Lucius says, then, if that's the case, if you want to get out of here, for the time being, we're your only egress. And I have a feeling that someone might have betrayed you. I'm not saying it was one of your house. Maybe it was one of the usurpers. I know not.
Let's just ask her outright. Do you serve Iriadul?
Yes, she does. She's me.
Okay.
No qualms
Yeah, okay.
about that.
Right. Just I was a little confused by that, so I was just double checking.
Iriadul was only. She calls up that he's only grown in power since he arrived. My sister became jealous. In the end, he was granted a powerful artifact that she was trying to wrest from him.
Do you know what the artifact is?
She does.
Okay. Does she when she says that, does she sound like she's happy that Iriadul
Make an
is
insight
taking
check.
control? Yeah.
Roll high.
I don't.
Was that a 6?
6.
Yeah.
She sounds dutiful. She has marching orders and she carries them out. She keeps insisting repeatedly that she's been very loyal. Nobody can call her a traitor. Nobody can say she's betrayed the masters.
I don't know.
Then why are you protesting so hard?
Because you guys have made it clear that you're an enemy of Iriadul. Therefore, you're her enemy.
I still think she's scared.
If she is, she's not showing it at all.
Just to be fair,
She definitely was not scared to die.
some
Tell
soft
me what
landers.
happened. Who was here to witness this execution that you were charged to carry out?
Many of us. She names some names you don't recognize. Some of them sound like they could be the Drow tongue. Some of them sound like they're drowned words for mind flayers. And Iriadul himself. They were all here moments ago before. And then she kind of trails off. Then accusing she says, I don't know what's happened before you arrived. And desecrated the room. And moved the heads of the accused. I don't know what it is you've done.
We've moved no heads. We've done nothing to this room. We found you.
Yeah, you insist my sister's alive and that she was been rescued and that she's continued in her treason.
No, we said that whatever time stopped you, put you in stasis. Probably, it seems like it might have saved her life.
Ridiculous.
Because you didn't swing the axe.
She insists that there's been no stasis. She refuses to hear it.
Here's the God. Okay. This is really frustrating because, like, obviously, whoever was here with her when she was carrying this out, one of them stabbed her in the back and stopped this execution.
Yes.
So what you're suggesting then is that we desecrate, all in the span of a single second, defeated Iriadul, all the Mind Flayers, and all the Drow that were in the chamber, got rid of all the heads, and then disarmed you without you noticing.
She says these past 10 years she's seen terrors great and powerful, wielded by the gods themselves. She doesn't know you people. She doesn't know who you serve or what magics you conceal. There's any number of things that you could have done. For all she knows, you've torn her temple down, and she's the last standing member of her house.
We.
That
Connor, do
sounds
you still
preposterous to you guys, but she's clinging to it.
Connor, do you have the access to the spell zone of truth?
I do not.
Pity, because then I
Alright.
could suggest that you cast that magic, allow us to fall under its effect.
She would
She
just
probably
assume, yeah, she
Yeah.
still would believe it. I'm gonna go down there and I'm going to.
You're going to jump down or climb down?
I mean, I'm the one holding the rope,
Okay.
so I'm going to float down with my boots of flying,
There you go.
and I'm going to. Here's the rope.
And when
Actually,
you
I'm gonna
get
carry the
down-
rope with me.
When you get down, you notice that she's badly injured. One of her legs is twisted terribly. Like her landing was not soft at all. As you float down, and she gets to her other foot, she limps backwards towards the wall. She says to you, "Is this it then?"
Doesn't speak the language, so he looks at her and goes, "Holy crap, lady!" And he's gonna walk over and he's gonna grapple her.
Okay, that's going to be
Yeah.
an opposed check.
Yeah.
She has a 20.
Oh, guess what I rolled?
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 20
Oh, no.
plus 10, so that's a 30.
Okay, yeah, you got her beat. Some of you grapple her. And she's fairly heavy, because she's also wearing heavy armor.
Uh-huh.
So you're not carrying her anywhere, but you can drag her around this room.
Seeing this, Alex will start flying down the hole.
Okay.
Gus carries her over to the bottom of the thing and he lays her down on the ground. Like I'm like trying to like, if I have to shove her to get her down on the ground, I will.
Yeah, you can shove her prone.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna start inspecting her leg.
Yeah, she landed on it terribly, and it's badly broken. She sustained some damage.
I guess I'll start setting it.
Okay. Somebody else is going to have to restrain her while you're doing this, otherwise she will fight you tooth and nail.
I will like I look at her and says I will beat you into unconscious with my bare hands to set your leg. If you can.
And
be
Alex,
still.
She said- Well, what language do you say that in? Common?
Common, yeah.
And she
Like I know
replies
you
in-
can understand.
She replies in undercommon, would you have the conviction to end it? And kind of glances at your hammer that you're carrying. And Alex is doing what?
Alex is just going to fly down
Okay.
and
It's just
be
sit
in the
on
same
her.
room.
I mean, if she's serving,
I don't think
Iriadul,
Alex
we
can
should-
restrain her, but if you restrain her, Alex can set the wound, but he's also not as interested in doing that as you are.
If she really is serving Iriadul, we should just kill her at this
Yeah.
point.
You agreeing with that?
I mean, here's what I think. If her sister is alive, then she might be able to help us. And killing her sister is probably not a good way to get on our good side.
I mean, she wouldn't, or they wouldn't necessarily know.
Plus, it really just doesn't sit well with me to kill an unarmed woman who has done nothing, has done no violence to us. She's just been trying to run away from us the entire time.
So you're going to set her wound?
Yeah.
Is anybody else assisting with this to keep her held down? So she doesn't struggle out of the way?
I can't get down there.
No, I.
I think it's just Alex and Gus.
Connor peers over and he's like, thoughts and prayers.
All right, if you hold her, I'll fix her leg.
Okay, so let's get a strength check from Gus and a medicine check from Alex.
All right. That is a 26.
That's more than she rolled.
That's a 5 on medicine.
A 5.
I
break
didn't
her
like
other
try and
leg.
flub it. I rolled a 1.
And the difficulty is, like, she's wearing, like, plate armor. So, like, you're trying to have to pull the plates away with your dagger. You're trying to cut through some of the straps, and she's kicking with her injured leg, causing even further damage, and you just can't get in close enough to get a splint. You can't even cut her clothes away underneath. I mean, you do the best that you can, but
You
it doesn't look to have
accidentally.
helped. You haven't
Whoops,
worsened anything.
You accidentally cut her leg. You accidentally whatchamacallit the leg. Cut it off.
She tells you, the two of you, and says, by all means, continue with this farce. Every moment that you waste on these games is another moment for my people to find me here. And when they do, their wrath will be terrible.
Your people left you here, lady. I mean, look around you. There's no one here.
You're
It's
called-
literally just us. Yes, he's shouting for the whole.
In
In
Undercommon?
common. No, in common.
Okay.
Well, you done told us she understands us.
Well, yeah, but Connor didn't understand what she said. Because she's speaking
Oh,
Lucius
Undercommon.
does.
Okay,
Lucius has comprehend languages up.
Okay, so Lucius is translating then.
okay.
Yeah.